tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, all my fellow trudgers, trudgies, and trudgers. Sorry, it got loud pretty quick. Shouldn't have to adjust your volume anymore, though. All right. Morning. Happy Thursday. It is March 27th. Thursday. Almost time for the weekend, huh? It's springtime in the Rockies here in Colorado. Today we're going to be talking about AA freedom. We're going to be doing we're using the AA daily reflections today. Good morning, Amber. It is good to see you. Thank you for the pictures of how you ruined the shirt I gave you in the wash. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It actually looks. So I gave these trudging together shirts, and I gave Amber one, and she tie-dyed it. It looks pretty cool, man. No, the hearts do not pop on my screen over here. They probably do when you're watching the actual trudge on whatchamacallit. But no, it doesn't have that feature here. Good morning, Michelle. It is good to see you. Did I see the hearts pop on my screen? When I did when I looked at it, not sure where you're talking about. Anyway. I'm even going to show you what the shirt looks like. There you go. And Amber's little smirk with it. It turned out pretty good. Right on. Looks like bubbles. Babies. I did get a tiny bleach on it while cleaning, so I fixed it with more bleach and tying it up. There you go. Hey. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Oh. All right, we're going to be in language of the heart today. Got too many things in my hands. This comes from an article that was written for the Grapevine by Bill W. And it's called "What is AA Freedom?" It's not too awfully long, so I figure I'd go ahead and cover the whole thing. Guess we should do introductions before we really get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And it'll all be good. All right, let's get started. What is AA Freedom? May 1960. The traditions and customs of Alcoholics Anonymous reveal a charter for individual and group freedom, the like of which history has never before produced. We have no humanly administered government whatever. Once upon a time, there was an AA member who got the notion that his own group was a little too stuffy, respectable, and intolerant. Hence it was, he thought, over fearful of the lapses and deviations of its members. Tongue-in-cheek, he pondered a remedy. Finally, he hung a placard in the club room. It read as follows: "Folks, just about anything goes on in here. But if you happen to be drunk at this meeting, don't be too noisy about it, and please don't smoke your opium in the club elevators." Oh no, I kind of feel like that's a reasonable expectation not be smoking it up in the elevators. Of course, this was the 60s. Things were a little different. Yeah. True, our friend had gone overboard to make it out his case. I don't agree. An AA drunk at an AA meeting is seldom seen. And it's probably that nobody has yet smoked opium in a clubhouse. Nevertheless, any of us can read between the lines of that placard and to good effect. Let's see. He asked people not to be too noisy. And okay, anyway, let's go on. Our prankster was really saying to each of the respectful and fearful, but for the grace of God, there go I. To disturbers of the group, peace was saying, nobody can compel you to behave or punish you if you do not. AA's 12 steps for recovery are for spiritual growth. It has 12 traditions for the unity of every group and our whole fellowship. These traditions, how we can all stay in one piece, if you will. Now, this meeting place costs some money. We hope you will put some cash in it, in the hat, but don't want to make you do it. You can attack this, but you'll probably find that most of us won't fight back. You can bust your anonymity in public and misuse the AA name for your own prestige and pocketbook. If you insist on such foolishness, we can't stop you. The same is true if you drag the AA name into public controversy. We hope you won't do any of these things or to yourself. We simply say that you will have to practice AA's principles because you want them for yourself, not because we insist. The choice is yours. This charter of AA freedom. Now, hey, Daryl, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, it's not like we have any AA cops. No, and I don't totally agree with what Bill is saying here. I don't. I just called somebody out for 13 stepping in a meeting yesterday. Yes, I did. What are the priorities? There was a guy there looking for a sponsor, but instead we talked to the cute new girl coming into the room because we haven't seen her before. And then they assumed that she was new. That's how they start. Oh, are you new to the program? And I found it disgusting. And yes, I'm going to say something. Can I stop him from doing it? No, I cannot. But I have no problem with confrontation. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me in the least. It's from Language of the Heart. It's actually today's daily. I'm in Language of the Heart. The reading part for the reading isn't what we're at yet. What is freedom in AA? All right. If I see you get violent with somebody, yeah, I might step in. I'm not going to underreact, nor am I going to overreact. Now, if we have a drunk person in the meeting, no, they don't get to talk. And if they're being disruptive, yes, I'm going to ask them to leave the meeting. Times have changed a little bit. Now, if you want to go out and break the traditions in public, we're not going to do anything about it. Nope. In fact, it's being done all over the place. People cut down AA and use the AA name for their own ends quite often, mostly in the form of books. Right? I know that I do everything that I can, but even this is kind of toeing the line. Even this is kind of toeing the line. Now I can't tell anybody that they necessarily need to leave or anything like that, but I think that there's reasonable expectations in this world. All right. Now, do these things happen often? Not really. Not really. According to what they're saying, then I can go to an in-person meeting and light up a cigarette. And nobody can kick me out. Do you agree with that? It's a non-smoker. I don't think you should be vaping in there either. No, or chewing. I want to see your fucking spit. I want to hear you go every time. No, just keep it all out. We can all wait an hour and do our stuff, right? So, yeah. Now, I'm not saying Bill is wrong. I'm just saying I don't necessarily agree. Sometimes I'll take the other side. And it's not from Grumposaurus today. I'm not grumpy today. Not like I was yesterday. I'm doing a little bit better. So, all right. For any other society, such unlimited freedom for the individual would be disastrous. Sheer anarchy would take it over in jig time. How is it then that we AAs can stand in this amount of liberty, a liberty which sometimes looks like a license to do exactly as we please, individually and collectively? Then, too, is this unheard charter of liberty made possible by our virtues, or is it actually powered by our necessities? Okay. Now, if we're doing it because we want clout or power over somebody, then I think we're doing it wrong. Yeah. I don't believe in this passive aggressive. I don't believe in being passive. I don't. It's not a character trait that did me any good in the past, and it certainly isn't going to do me any in the future. Now, if two people want to sit over there and talk during the meeting, not really my problem. Is it? If somebody gets up, goes to the bathroom, and smokes a cigarette in there, is it my problem? Oh yeah, I don't know. Pick your battles, I guess. I'm not sure how to answer that one. I'll be honest. You know, sometimes we're put in difficult situations. So, maybe if we have a drunk who's being disruptive in the meeting, maybe we can go aside somebody can stand up and say, hey, let's go outside and talk. They're drunk. They want to smoke anyway. All right. Hey, let's go outside and have a cup of coffee together. All right. Maybe some forward thinking. Maybe you got a new guy hitting on the girls in there. He doesn't know any better. He's just trying to fill that God-sized hole in his stomach, and he doesn't know how. So that means it's my job to approach that person and give them some tools. Okay, I got to give them a chance. We're not a one and done. We don't shoot our wounded. That's not how we work in AA. Okay, but for me, I'm always geared towards whoever the newcomer is. If there's a newcomer in the meeting, then that's what I'm geared towards. If there's not, then I'd like to hear something besides steps 1, 2, or 3. But that's all preference, right? But don't you think there are reasonable expectations in this world? If the trash is full, take it out. Right? Every group is autonomous. We can make all the fucking rules in the world we want, and no aid and World Service can do nothing about it. They will do let me rephrase that. They won't do anything about it. It's not for them to fight, right? So the key is the fighting portion, right? Daryl says, if disrupting the flow of the meeting and I'm chair, I will address it. Yeah. You did it the other day. I was glad that you were chairing the other day, right? Because somebody brought up a topic that wasn't even a topic. It was just a question. What was the difference between an open and closed meeting? And you ran with that, man. I appreciate that. I was really proud of you. I'm glad Daryl's chairing. I was not jealous at all. Right. So, while our necessities are certainly immense and compelling, each of us must conform reasonably well, there it is, to AA steps and traditions, or we shall go mad or die of alcoholism. Therefore, the compulsion among most of us to survive and grow soon becomes far stronger than the temptation to drink or to misbehave. Literally, we must do or die, so we make the choice to live. This, in turn, means the choice of AA principles, practices, and attitudes that can salvage us from total disaster by ensuring our sobriety. This is our first great and critical choice. Admittedly, this may This is made under the fearful and immediate lash of John Barleycorn the killer. Plainly enough, the first choice is far more necessity than it is an act of virtue. If you do not know what John Barleycorn is, it's alcohol. A lot of people don't know. So, just kind of rereading this. I gotta say, this is a little over my head. I'm still not sure where he's trying to get to, so that's why I haven't added much yet. So, but once over this hump, we commence to make another kind of choice. We begin to see that the AA principles are good ones. Now I'm starting to get it. Though we are still set with much rebellion, we increase the practice of these principles out of the sense of responsibility to ourselves, our family, and our groups. Right? So what they're asking here is that we follow the principles of the program before we go to our necessities. And I think that's where a good group conscious comes in. Grassroots has a great group conscious. We all understand what we're doing. We're geared towards some certain things. What are we geared towards? Well, we're geared towards bringing more new people into the meeting so that we can help them. It's our one and only aim. But we do a lot of different things in order to do that. Daryl says John Barleycorn is moonshine, corn, and whiskey. Yeah. Barley and corn are alcohols. Most alcohol is made with barley and corn. Or potatoes. All right. A lot of different ways you can make vodka. Just ask anybody in DOJ, Department of Justice. Okay. Right. But even in the beginning, we're going to have some rebellion. Well, look what that person's doing over there. Are they coloring while we're talking? It's not my business, man. If they're there just to color and listen, that's their own business. Maybe somebody's on their phone the whole time, not paying attention. Oh, that person's not paying attention. So then they ain't going to get anything out of it. How do you know they're not paying attention? There's some things you can't do both at the same time. So, but a lot of people can color and listen at the same time. I might not be able to do it, but other people can. We begin to obey because we feel we ought to obey. Though painful, we see that is the right thing to do. As we try for the results, we see that we are growing. This is an earned satisfaction. Life still isn't easy, but it's a whole lot better. Besides, we have had a lot of company. All around us, there are plenty of fellow travelers, individuals, or groups. We can do together what we cannot do in separation. There's no way that I could do or create service work for other people unless there is a group. I'm not going to be able to stay sober unless there is a group. And at this point, I wouldn't want to. And that's what they're kind of saying. In the beginning, we kind of rebel against being part of a group, conforming. These are bad words to alcoholics. Discipline, structure. These are all words that we don't really like, right? So I'll rebel at some of the quote unquote rules that we tend to, unsaid rules that we have in AA. What's a big one? Crosstalk. According to what Bill's saying here, you can't even have that rule. God will disclose more to you and to us. Right? We're there for a certain purpose, and if we have a disruptor, we're going to be kind. We're not going to be mean about it. Daryl says it only becomes my business if something disrupts the meeting, and only if I'm the chair. Yeah, it's kind of up to the chairperson. I would agree with that. You know, they should decide. You know, like a lot of times there's a timer, and it's kind of up to it is kind of up to the chairperson on how much time. We do 4 minutes of grassroots, but if we get 20 people in there or 20 or more, I'm going to ask chairperson, is it okay if we do 3 minutes today? Okay. My job isn't to take over for the chair. My job is to support the chairperson and listen. All right. And it's going to be varied, right? We have a guy in the group, and he ends the meeting. He does the Lord's Prayer, and it's not the AA Lord Prayer; it's the Christian Lord Prayer. So what? Well, we don't do it that way. What do you mean we don't do it that way? It's the chairperson. Okay. Finally, we see that there is still another dimension of choice which may now and then be attained. This is the point where we can take an attitude, engage in a practice, or obey a sound principle, because without reservation or rebellion, that is what we really want. When our willingness and acceptance become this complete, we find that all rebellion disappears. Now we conform because we fully want to conform, or to put it in another way, we want nothing else but God's will for us and his grace for our fellows. That I can absolutely agree on. See, there's always a landing place. There's a place where I can find an agreement on. That I absolutely agree with. We want nothing else but God's will for us and his grace for our fellows. I just want you to have the same great shot at the program and at recovery as I was given. It's one of the only intents, right? That means that I have to be open-minded. I don't have to rebel, right? There's a right way to do things. If you want to make a change, it's got to be at the group conscious. Don't keep bringing up your shit in the middle of the meeting. Dion, I do it sometimes. All right. We got to be careful on that. Dion has to be careful on that. Looking back, we see that our freedom to choose badly was not, after all, very real freedom. When we choose because we must, this was not free choice either, but it got us started in the right direction. It's the difference between a need and a want. In the beginning, I need these principles. I need them because I'm forming a new life. But after a while, it becomes a want. Now I want it in my life. Every now and then you'll hear me say things like, a lot of times God even gives me what I want. And that's what I'm talking about. Direction, helping other people. None of it's materialistic. Well, that's not true. At one point I asked God for a car without a check engine light on, and he gave me it. But it wasn't really about the car. I need the car so that I can help other people. It's one of the only reasons I have a car in my license, and I keep it up. And it's nice to be able to drive myself. When we choose because we ought to, we were really doing better. This time we were earning some freedom, making ourselves ready for more. But when now and then we could gladly make right choices without rebellion, holdout, or conflict, then we had made our first view of what perfect freedom under God's will could be like. Few indeed can long remain on that lofty plateau. For most of us, it's a permanent attainment. For most of us, its permanent attainment has to be a lifetime and more probably an eternal job. But we know that the highest plateau is really there, a goal someday to be reached. We're trying to become better. We're trying to, a lot of this is just about meeting needs, but you have to understand the needs first. And that includes your own. That includes your own. You know, we alcoholics, we're pretty talented people. And you can, there's been plenty of times when we've taken a vote in a group of a subject that I brought up or something that I brought up that was turned the other way because it was best for the group. And I'm okay with that. If it doesn't need to happen, it doesn't need to happen. Right? And it's important that the group it's extremely important that the group has all the same goals. And I'll tell you why. There's a thing called the Abilene effect, and it happens all the time. I watch it happen all the time. It's where a group makes a wrong decision based upon popularity. Yep. Doesn't make it the right. They're not going after what's right. They're going after, there'll be one group that maybe leads the group and they don't want to go against what that person says because then they'll be ostracized. Happens all the time. And the group will make a decision because they don't want to speak up, because they won't confront the issue. They won't speak up. And you gotta. Well, I don't want to start a fight. Well, if they start fighting, that's their problem, not yours. As they start fighting, everybody in the group has their answer, don't they? See, it's all about actions. For me, it's all about actions. I talk to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people that talk a great game, but my gut is sitting there going, something's not right. Something's not right. Okay, well, they say they're going to do it. And then my gut was right. It's almost always correct. A lot of times I don't know why, gang, but patterns don't lie. And I'm watching your pattern. And I'm friends with you. I'm watching your patterns. I know when you're being pissy. I know when you're in a good mood. I know. Yeah, sure, I know those things. Because our actions speak louder than words. This is where I tend to have a little bit of problem in the program that, anyway, not to go there. Sometimes we just need to ask God for the courage. Don't forget God. I keep listening to people in meetings and, like yesterday I was in a meeting and they're talking about the 6th and 7th step. It got brought through by a book somebody wrote, which was not AA approved literature. Meeting didn't get started till 12:30, till like 12:25 when somebody finally said, "Hey, can you shut up?" Daryl said, "What? Sometimes the next right thing will often rock the boat." Yes, it will, and you should rock the boat. I believe that you can rock the boat and keep everybody safe at the same time. Yes, you can. All right. Because I'm following the principles of the program. And Michelle says, yes, and I'm watching your pattern. Good. I hope people watch my pattern. Absolutely. Because if I'm off the rails, I hope you would say, hey, Dion, what in the fuck do you think you're doing? That ain't your lane. Hey, your lane. Get out of my yard. Get out my lawn, punk. Right. Such are the several freedoms in AA. Let's see where we're supposed to be at. AA for we trust, so we already know it's okay. Oh, it's the very last paragraph. So that works out well for me. Awesome. Such are the several freedoms in AA. This is how they seem to work among us. To gain these insights took a long time. It was not until 1945, 10 years after I met Dr. Bob, that we even dared put the traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous on paper. There had been a period in which we continually feared what erratic members within and the world without might do to us. It was difficult to believe that our group conscience could be a reliable guide. Hence, we question the wisdom of giving every AA group its local autonomy. In other words, they had to let go. They had to trust that these people were going to follow it. And even now, and I'm not putting down AA. There's no such thing as a bad meeting. I don't know. Perception on that one. That would be purely opinion. But it'd be a pretty sad meeting if I listened to 10 people talk throughout the meeting and didn't get something out of it. I can't be so closed-minded and rebellious and angry that I'm not listening to what other people are saying because I don't feel like it's done the right way. Yeah. I had to confirm with a few people in the last few days because I'm like, okay, everybody's running around, they're doing this. To me, it's the wrong way, but they're all at least doing something. Is Dion wrong? Am I wrong on it? And I wasn't. I checked with some people. I'm like, am I just going the wrong route here? All right. Still more. We question whether we shouldn't throw out undesirables and unbelievers. Yeah. A lot of undesirables. I'm probably an undesirable to some people. See, there we go again. Perception, opinion. Not going to do me much good in this area. To give every alcoholic in the world an exclusive right to say whether or not he would be an AA member was a breathtaking decision. Yeah, I would agree with that. That you're a member if you say you're a member. All right. Such were the fears of those old days, and such were the restrictions that were tempted to place upon each other. After all, these were the restrictions that even the more benign of societies and governments had to place on their members and existence. Why should we be the exception? It's a great question. Why should? Daryl says, which is funny because what the big book says about the SEPs, that they are suggestion as a program of recovery. Yeah. If it's a suggestion, then we do got to give you that freedom, don't we? See, they understood something. It's the power of choice. Your choices have power. Once you have made a decision, your brain gears towards it. It's automatic. It's what the brain is for. Right? So this conformity and these other words that sound maybe uncomfortable to us. All right? Because when you make the decision to believe in a higher power, when you make the choice that you do not want to drink anymore, right? And they understood that you making the decision and the choice for yourself was 10 times more powerful than giving the direction that you had to. Yeah. And that's what they're getting at here. All right. Happily, however, we adopted no government measures. Yeah, the traditions didn't actually come out until like 1960, from my understanding. We adopted no government measures. Instead, we cast up the 12 traditions of AA. These were truly the utterance of our entire group conscious. The amazing degree of today's voluntary conformity to them is something for the greatest wonder and thanksgiving. We know now that we shall always practice these principles, first because we must, then because we ought to, and finally because the majority of us will deeply want to do just that. There cannot be the slightest question of this. All right. Your phone died. Bummer. I was wondering where you went. Because I don't trust the number. It says 3 people are here. Not sure if that's true. But usually you have something to say. So, all right. This is the last paragraph of the of this reading of this chapter. And it is also what is in the daily reflections today. So we'll be able to end on that. So we trust that we already know what our several freedoms truly are. that no future generation of AAs will ever feel compelled to limit them. Our AA freedoms create the soil in which genuine love can grow, the love for each other and all for God himself. I can hop on this. A genuine love. I think that's the key there. And I know grassroots have it. I know grassroots has it. And I know because when I started the group, I intentionally picked people that were like that. That had been in the program for a little bit, that knew what they were talking about, that understood the traditions. I don't think a lot of people really know the traditions anymore. And you have to. You have to know the traditions. And why is that? Because recovery is like a three-legged stool. And if you take one out, well, you're going to hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Floor. I think I'm abusing my microphone rights. All right. So now we're going to get to the daily reflections. And it's probably going to change the topic a little bit. It's going to change it a little bit. So I craved freedom. Oh, man. What a great way to start it. I craved it. I didn't know how to, I thought I was free because I was doing what I wanted. But I wasn't free. I wasn't. I was driven by King Alcohol. I did whatever alcohol told me to do, which is weird because alcohol can't even talk. But I knew. I knew. Isn't that the weirdest thing? It's hard to explain, but I know that my alcoholic friends get it. And what is that? Well, it's another type of freedom. It's a big freedom. First, freedom to drink. Later, freedom from drink. The AA program of recovery rests on the foundation of free choice. Yeah. I mean, the choice is so free that if you want to get up and leave in the middle of the meeting, you can. People are going to judge you, just so you know. Where are they going? See, there's that instinct battling with what's right. Bloody well right. You know, you got right to say. If you name that band, I'll clap for you. The AA program, there are no mandates, laws, or commandments. Yeah. See, if you would have told me what to do when I got here, we would have had a big fucking problem. Awesome, Daryl. Get out of here. Love you, dude. And by which I am offered even greater freedoms is only suggested. I can take it or leave it. Yeah. But we go back to that. Rarely are we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path, right? So we don't even ask people to trust in us. We're like, just trust the process. You can see that it's working in other people. Patterns don't lie. I love you too, brother. Sponsorship is offered, not forced. And I come and go as I will. What does it say? Sponsorship is offered. All right. So that means somebody is approaching you. Oh, wow. Looks like I just got an email. This should be interesting. Oh, no, that was something else. Okay. No, it said that Emma wrote me. I always get cool emails. Hi, Dan. I hope you're doing well. I am hoping to add quotes and accolades we received from our community actual report. This one meant so much to us. Would it be okay if we use this quote from you? If so, what quote? So they want to use what I wrote them. Adams County wants to use what I said. And this is what I said to them. I wrote them and just said, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you to everyone for helping me make connections and believing in what I'm trying to do. I feel 2025 will be a great year for us and help us to be a great example to other communities. And they want to take that quote and put it in their stuff. And they said, we'll use Adams County resident if they want me to stay, you know. Well, I said nothing about it. Hey, I'm going to put my name on that one. Yeah. See, now I'm even being quoted by the government. Don't tell me you can't make a difference. Don't tell me you can't make a fucking difference, man. It will not fly with me. Make me feel good. And I'm weeping a little bit. Emma and I got pretty close, and so this is a person that I respect in the industry. So, yes, they can use it. You bet they can. But they best put my fucking name on it. Tell me, should I put my name on it or should I leave it Adams County resident? You tell me, because it feels like it might be a little bit of an ego thing. So you tell me. May I'll take it to the group, see what they say. I don't see anything wrong with my name being on it. In fact, it should say Dion Miller Trudging Together. So people are getting to know our fucking name. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to claim spiritual progress right now. Good job, Dion. Pat. Now I'm done. All right. I can take it as sponsorship is offered, not forced, and I come and go as I will. It is these and other freedoms that allow me to recapture the dignity that was crushed by the burden of drink and which is so dearly needed to support an enduring sobriety. Yeah. It's good stuff, man. Let's kind of end on how, if we can make a difference. The thing is that Dion making a difference? I'm going to give that a yes, no, because without the people supporting me, without the community backing me on it, it's nothing. I'll give you a good example of that. You buy a new car. That car is not cool till your best friend sees it and says that's a cool car. Otherwise, it's just another car. Right? And I appreciate the recognition. Yeah, sure I do. I appreciate it. I'm not going to run off with it. I'm not going to go on Facebook and say, hey, look what Adams County's doing, But amongst my friends, amongst the people that listen to me, I notice I don't say listeners. Notice I try and stay away from followers. No, because this is a we thing. Whether we've met or not, doesn't matter. I am connected to you. We are spiritual beings. It is on whether you allow me in that spiritual space of yours. But change can be hard. Bringing up the truth can be hard. Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Let people get to their noon meetings, and I need to reschedule my dentist appointment. I'm going to tell on myself a little bit here. Well, not tell on myself, but I'm going to tell you something a little personal, just because I got a feeling that somebody else out there needs to hear this. I have a dentist appointment, but my PTSD is making it extremely hard for me to go. And I can't go without my wife, without somebody else going with me. And I prefer my wife. So I'm going to reschedule it for a time that works a little bit better. So, all right. For all the courage and everything else I have, there's always places for improvement, right? Right? Yeah. Funny, I'll yell at the government, but I can't go to the dentist alone. Right. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.